That's why I said you would not be able to interpret what you read if you was to look it up.
You have a bigger problem than believing in pyramid schemes.
I have no sympathy for these people. None.
Hello, all of my fabulous, my beautiful people. And how are you doing today? I hope that you are doing very, 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 very well. So today on MLM Monday, I actually have something a little bit special, just a little bit. And we are going to be reacting to the anti-MLM community. It's a thing. I've reacted to this hun before, but I actually released a video recently about Savannah Marie.
What?
And it's something that I want to talk about because I think it's really pertinent to all of us out here as creators on this platform, even the people in the subreddit, and just how comedic and sassy we are. And it's a conversation to be had. I think it's important. So without further ado, let's play the intro and get right into it. This woman may look a little bit familiar to you. I did do another video on her. I thought she fell off the face of the earth, or maybe ran off the edge of the flat earth, depending on who you ask. Check out my flat earth content. I have another one coming to you soon, probably Wednesday. She has done several more videos, and I thought it would be fun if we reacted to some because, again, there's one that I want to get to. Just to give you guys an idea of her belief system, this is a video she did about the Plexus pink drink, and she's replying to a comment that says, I literally just told you one causes stomach problems and organ damage like the main ingredient. How is that good ingredients? Good point, very true. Let's see what this woman has to say about it.
For starters, chromium is a natural element that occurs in the body already. So whether you take it or not, it's already in your body.
Like Jamie and I spoke about in our video about doTERRA, natural or being produced in your body does not necessarily mean safe and good for you.
Secondly, there's different types of chromium, and the one in the Plexus pink drink is the chromium polynicotinate, and it only contains 200 micrograms of it.
Yeah, but see, the issue with that is that that's a fair bit amount, and then they're told to continuously consume this drink. So just like with essential oils, you can OD on things. If you are doing constant consumption of this, as the company promotes that, so that you continuously buy it off of them, it gets dangerous.
And according to WebMD, chromium is likely safe for most adults in medicinal short-term amounts up to 1,000 micrograms. Again, theirs only contain 200 micrograms. And it's showing that it has been safe to use for up to 2 years. And this...
Oh, whoa, no. It said it's safely for up to 6 months. You skipped some. When taken by mouth in these doses for longer periods of time, chromium is possibly safe. Again, you want to go by possible with overconsumption for most adults. Most adults. Remember, they also have children drinking these things. Chromium has been used safely in a small number of studies using doses of 200 to 1,000 mcg daily for up to 2 years. Now, the issue with this is that it says that that amount should be short-term medicinal amounts. Here's the thing, sweetheart. The Plexus huns are not doctors. So they shouldn't be giving out things like chromium to people just randomly on the internet where they're not being monitored by a doctor. Another thing, short term. A lot of these women will be in Plexus for a few years, drinking this stuff nonstop. It's one of their biggest sale things, okay? They sell this product like crazy. So it's fair to say that we should be a little bit worried. Another thing is, as this woman pointed out, it can cause stomach problems. See, and this is why it's not good for people who are not nutritionalists, not doctors, not nurses, not even pharmacists, to be handing out health and wellness supplements or anything to do with health and wellness, because we cannot have it monitored. We don't know how much each person's taking. Half the time they don't listen. Again, watch my video with Jamie. She discusses that a lot in terms of the overconsumption of essential oils. And honestly, same thing applies to every single product out here, and especially things like this. So are the anti-MLMers wrong? I mean, I have to ask you why you would want to promote the possibility of it not being safe. It's only possibly safe. That's not guaranteed safe. And I personally don't think it's very ethical for a company to sell something that isn't guaranteed as safe, and that says it should only be used for short term in medicinal amounts. Which again, get it from a doctor, not a Plexus, hun, if you need it.
Only been 3 case studies that shows otherwise.
3 too many. 3 too many. And what if with this product, with the other ingredients mixed in with the chromium, what if it has a bad reaction and it would cause overconsumption, ODing? You don't know. Are you a doctor? And this is what our issue is in this community. You're not a doctor. They're not a doctor. Don't be giving medical and health and wellness advice if you don't have the proper education and certification to do so. Theirs is fake, okay?
That's why I said you would not be able to interpret what you read if you was to look it up.
Well, apparently, sweetie, you had more trouble than she did. That's all I'm saying about that.
Hey guys, just hopping on here.
All right, so it says, myth. I lost money in Mary Kay. They scammed me. How is that a myth?
Really quickly to let you know that...
Here's the thing. If somebody claimed this, do you know them? Do you know their experience? How can you say that they're lying? The thing about these MLMs, too, you have to think, is that they just let anyone join, right? They're good for everybody. So you don't know that her upline couldn't have pulled something with her and Mary Kay. You have no clue. This is like victim shaming and blaming. Like, oh no, you're lying. You're not a victim of this. And then stick up for the perpetrators. That's basically what we're watching here. So what are you going to tell us about this?
Hey guys, just hopping on here really quickly to let you know that Mary Kay has a 365-day 90% guarantee. So that means that if you purchase products from Mary Kay, you have up to a full year to get 90% of your money back. So if you see someone on here saying they were scammed by Mary Kay or their upline forced them to buy products, they didn't read the fine print.
Okay, sweetheart, that's way different. Are you telling me that when the uplines tell their downlines to buy products, they should be buying the products and then returning and refunding them all, and that's going to somehow help their team? What you don't seem to understand is that these MLMs actually do promote an auto shipment once a month. It's usually at least $50 to $100 a month that these huns have to buy. If they don't buy it, they don't get paid, they don't get rake, they don't get success. They're forced to buy products, and especially in a company like Mary Kay, they're all about stocking up on the products. It doesn't matter that you can get your money back for the products. Here's the thing you don't understand is that MLMs actually rip people off for more than money, scam people for more than money, hurts people's trust. I guess to you, though, somebody that appears to have no real empathy, that would be hard for you to understand, being a part of a community and then finding out that they're actually a cult, because you still have that cultish way of thinking. Just because they have a refund policy doesn't mean anything. They're still forced into a pyramid scheme where they have to buy something every single month that they have trouble selling. They don't make money in it as promised, and that is a scam. And then when they go to the company and say, why wasn't I successful? The company says, oh, it's all your fault. You didn't work hard enough. When really the entire business plan is set up for them to fail so that they continuously try to succeed in it. See, you fell for it. So you're getting scammed still, sweetheart.
Because they could have very easily gotten their money back and chose not to.
They could have very easily gotten their money back and chose not to. Yet only 90% of the money back, by the way. And I know that you're out here saying they could have very easily chose not to be in an MLM, but aren't you shaming all the people that don't want to be in an MLM right now? Just saying. I did a deep dive on Mary Kay. Go and check it out. It is actually one of the biggest MLM companies, one of the longest running, and they do scam people. I'm sorry. Like all MLMs, their compensation plan is extremely convoluted. They are forced to stock up products to sell them. And let's be real, the makeup industry is extremely oversaturated. And sweetheart, you're not going to become a famous makeup artist in your living room with Mary Kay or Jeffree Star or James Charles. There's a lot of names I could say here. But you don't know people's stories. Maybe you should listen to some of our channels and the stories of people that have been scammed by these MLMs. And if you can still hear these stories and tell me that they're a good thing, people having their livelihood taken from them because of things like Mary Kay, you have a bigger problem than believing in pyramid schemes.
I have no sympathy for these people. None.
Oh, Savannah, I'm so sorry. It's an awful screen cap. This isn't my fault, I promise. It's just the beginning of her video. I love you.
What?
So, this says anti-MLM community is making fun of pro-MLM deaths.
What?
I'm a little bit confused as to what her point is here. But as you can see, it's our dear Savannah Marie up on the screen. She's who this lady decided to showcase. I think I'm worse than she is, but whatever. So, let's see what she has an issue with Savannah saying. Get to the two we've all been waiting for, shall we?
What? Why do people have to assume everything is negative? I'll tell you one thing that's not negative. Everybody's COVID test from the paparazzi comments, that shit is positive, baby. Remember last week when I posted all those photos of maskless consultants at the paparazzi convention in Vegas? And now, before we get into this part, I know there are gonna be people being like, oh my god, you're making content out of sick people. I'm fucking sorry, but they asked for this shit. I have no sympathy for these people. None. Not a fucking shred. So I just want to point that out here. I don't feel bad for these people. I don't. You mean it's Vinny, you don't have a heart. I don't give a shit. Why do people have to assume everything is negative?
Yeah, why do people have to assume everything's negative, like the joke that Savannah made about the COVIDs? Let me explain something to you, sweetheart, that made this video. Savannah Marie and several of our advocates found out that paparazzi was going to have a big conference. They told their Huns that if they did not show up for the conference, they would not be able to advance. They would not get their rewards because this was supposed to be some kind of award ceremony thing, and that they would have to show up for it. The paparazzi consultants themselves even felt like they were forced to buy tickets to this thing. Several of them went to this conference, again, several feeling forced. Our advocates tried to speak out about this and about how wrong it was to force them to go to this thing. When they showed up there, none of them were in masks. They decided to do an entire MLM conference during the panorama word I can't say, force consultants to show up. Several got CV and died. And do you know what the company did? Ignored it. Deleted their accounts. Pretend it didn't happen. Do you know who one of the loudest people was trying to save those Huns? The woman you're making fun of on this screen right now. She's also one of the main people out here right now in society that is holding this company to that. To the fact that they caused their own Huns' deaths. To the fact that they failed to acknowledge it's their fault. Especially since the Huns were told they had to go. They even refused to offer refunds at first. It's our community making a big stink about it and them also being mad about it that got them to be like, okay, if you don't want to come, maybe we'll give you a refund. Still didn't get a full refund though, which they should have, which was Savannah's point. She got a lot of hate for it. For speaking out saying that people shouldn't be going to this conference, for speaking out and saying that they should have canceled this conference or made it online, a Zoom call, if you will. I mean, it's not like they can use O Connect. Let me explain something to you. Sometimes speaking out against topics such as a company forcing people to go to a conference during a panorama, causing people to pass away, failing to acknowledge it, and then blaming our community for being like, what the heck was this, can get a little stressful. A lot of us use humor to deal with it. Most of us out here doing anti-MLM content are also like comedy creators, by the way. You weren't aware. Some of us are sassy bitches. Fortunately, you got probably the two sassiest ones angry at you right now for that video you just did. So I'm just going to tell you, after Savannah spoke out about this, got a lot of hate from paparazzi, like they literally like came for her a little bit. If she wants to joke about it now, let her. What do you want our community to do? Because when we try to point out that these MLMs don't care about any of you, to the point where they'll have these conferences like that, several of you will pass away and they won't even acknowledge you. They just close your accounts and it's like, poof, never existed. They don't apologize. What do you want us to do when we see this over and over and over and over again? And then there's people like yourself that keep promoting that these companies are good. Eventually, yeah, we have to get a dark sense of humor. We have to make some jokes like that. Because otherwise, we will go fucking insane. She wasn't making fun of it. It's heartbreaking. But we tried to warn them, especially her. So I don't know what you want her to do. I mean, at this point, since it happened, just like we were all scared it would, there's nothing else to do but try to hold this company accountable and then maybe make some jokes and stuff about it because holy crap, this is heavy. And I admit, maybe some of those jokes aren't for you. Maybe you find them a little bit, you know. But please do try to understand that every single one of the advocates and activists in our community, we actually really care about the Huns. The whole point of this community is to raise awareness, spread education, and get the Huns out of the schemes. Try to save as many people as we can. And unfortunately, paparazzi's conference was too big for all of us. So it's not that Savannah's cruel. It's not that Savannah's some kind of sociopath that's out here like laughing at people that passed away. No. If anything, that was kind of like an I told you so moment. You have to understand she's been doing this for years. Do you know how many times we've seen things like this happen over and over and over again, especially during this panorama right now? People getting sick and stuff because these things keep having conferences with lots of people. It's getting ridiculous how many of us are out here talking about it and how little traction it actually gets, even in mainstream media when people pass away. That should be all over the news. Paparazzi kills their consultants at a conference with CV. Why isn't it? Why isn't it on the news? Hardly any coverage about this. All you have is people like Savannah, who's one of the biggest advocates, thankfully, in this YouTube realm. So she did the best she could, and then when it happened, quite frankly, all there is for us to kind of go, we told you so. Look, here it happened, and then do some kind of joke so that we don't burn out and then go mentally insane. And that's what you saw there. And quite frankly, I get really frustrated when people don't understand that. And if you're going to come for a comedy, you're going to be getting a lot of people pissed off. Okay, we are not fighting against comedy anymore. That's redonkulous. But you do need to understand that if any of us could have stopped those Huns from going to that conference and getting sick, we would have. She tried to. So I only have one question for you. Are you more upset that one of the advocates in my community made a joke with some dark humor over these? Or are you more upset that these MLM companies keep causing deaths? That's the question I have for you. Pick your battle. Because right now, I'm not impressed with the battle you decided to pick. I'd rather stick up for Savannah making some dark humor about the situation, but being against the fact it happened and wanting to hold the company accountable. Where's your video about this? As someone in MLMs, you would think you would not want another MLM to do this to people. Instead, though, you're all mad that somebody made a joke about it?
What?
Okay. Again, pick your battles. This isn't it. Should be speaking out for the people that passed away from having to go to that conference that felt forced in order to get success because these companies lie to them. Be more mad about that. Not our jokes.
I have no sympathy for these people. None.
Hell no. Come on, wait till the no.
All right. So for those that maybe don't know, I'm actually partially hard of hearing. I don't like talking about my disabilities because people are mean out here. They are. So this here says, is it ever okay for anti-MLMers to make fun of deaf people just because they are pro-MLM? If they're deaf, though, and they're ripping off people, do we just forget about it because they're deaf? Like, that would be my question, but I don't know. Maybe somebody was cruel. I mean, our community is not absolutely perfect. We're doing ourselves a disservice by trying to say we are. There are some people in our community that are a little crazy. There are some people that get a little bullying. It happens. And I think that if we ignore that, we're feeding into people like this woman that wants to try to make our community look bad and culty and whatnot, because technically ignoring that would make us culty. And I keep trying to make that point, but then people get mad at me and say I'm calling us a cult because I point out that if we ignore bad behavior within our own movement and we don't talk about how we can't bully the Huns and etc., we are kind of being culty if we ignore that stuff. Anyway, as someone that's hard of hearing, let's see if I get angry.
Hell no. Come on, wait till the no. Come on.
All right, so this is the MLM Police. So just for transparency's sake, she and I don't get along. So if she was doing something wrong here, I would very much say so. Why comment what the fuck on her post? Proof that Monet works. It's the only product used in this ASL salon. If it didn't work or made your hair fall out, this salon would not be using it, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that that's the point. What the fuck is what the MLM Police wrote? Is she making fun of the fact that this woman is hard of hearing? No. Is she making fun of the fact that this woman runs an ASL salon? No, she's not. Do you know what she's doing with this? She's actually going, what the fuck? Because number one, this is not proof that Monet works. Number two, Monet makes your hair fall out, so the fact it's being used in a salon is just scary to anyone in our community right off the bat. And number three, preying on people with disabilities when you're in an MLM is something that she's against. That's what she has an issue with here. That's what she's saying what the fuck about. Not the fact that there's an ASL salon, not the fact that this woman is deaf. No. The fact that they're using Monet. She has gorgeous hair that's gonna probably fall out. Your hair will fall out. I know, I wrote the song. And so, that's what she's doing. And the fact that you're trying to take this and use this and try to say that she is coming for this woman just because she's deaf is kind of gross and just goes to show that you doing things like this and what you did with Savannah obviously proves that you don't actually have a good argument for why MLMs are good. So you're going to nitpick and you're going to use straw man arguments to try to win your argument. But that's not what the MLM Police is doing here. She and I don't get along because she blamed me for something that I had no part of and never apologized, and I don't do drama. But I'm not going to sit here and let you say that she's doing something she's not doing. Because I know what she means by this. And I'm pretty sure you know what she means by it too. Right? Yeah. My question to you then is, why are you okay with an MLM preying on an ASL salon when they know that their products make people's hair fall out and gives them scalp burns because they've had several lawsuits? They've had to change several of their wordings in their advertisements due to the FTC and the FDA even getting them in trouble. So Why are you okay with unethical businesses preying on people with disabilities? Because the MLM Police is not. That's what her issue is here. So, again, I'd rather be on her side.
To the no, to the no, no, no. Come on. No, no, to the no, no.
Why share her post at all? Well, I hope I explained it to you. Also, she's not the original one that shared it. I mean, this is the post that Glam by Becca Monet shared. She's trying to say, I'm in an ASL salon. They've convinced her to use her disability. All right? Like, understand this. Understand this. They've convinced this woman to use her disability to leverage their product working when they know it doesn't. They've had lawsuits that they hide from their consultants. So, again, that's why. That's why you share the post. To be like, what the fuck is this? I agree. What the fuck?
To the no, 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 no. To the no, no.
If you're all about being ethical, then stop making fun of deaf people promoting their business. That's not what she's doing. Do you have a problem with people that are hard of hearing? We don't like being called deaf people. I'm just saying. So first off, maybe use the proper language when you're describing us, please. And then secondly, are you okay with making fun of them? Because it's funny to me that you would see this shared, and instead of thinking, wow, it's crazy that a company preys on deaf people, you're going,
why does this girl have a problem with this company preying on deaf people?
it's like you like it when companies prey on deaf people, as you call us, you know. Hard of hearing.
No, no. No, no.
Well, at least you picked a good song, because, I mean, I am thinking hell to the no-no while I'm watching her show off her Monet products. Hypocrisy at its finest, so hashtag cringe. Thoughts? Well, I just gave them all to you and explain it to you, since apparently you can't comprehend anything. It's funny how you shared a post of one of our advocates claiming they're the ones that have problems with comprehension. But
That's why I said you would not be able to interpret what you read if you was to look it up.
But here we are. I think she gave me a headache. That's about as much of her that I can take. As you can see, she's kind of just grabbing anything she can, using it as a straw man to try to say that we're hypocrites and hateful people. I don't think I have to go into another speech as to why that is not. I've done full-on videos as to why our community is not haters and blah, blah, blah. There's lots of that out there. But I thought it would be fun to go through, see what she has to say. You know, I saw her coming for some of our advocates, and I was kind of like, well, I got something to say about this. You guys know me. So, please do give the video a like. Subscribe if you are new here. I would love it if you joined our fabulous, amazing members. All of the beautiful people do, and you don't want to be an ugly bitch with a black heart. That's totally fine with people dying of CV because they went to an MLM conference like the girl I just reacted to. So, yeah, go hit the join. So, go hit that join, right? Yeah. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope that you have a fabulous day. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. And sweetie, just stop, okay? Having an anti community, that's just cringe in itself.
I have no sympathy for these people. None.